So welcome everyone, this is Andre Johnson from Sage Media Solutions. We're here to start our series where we will interview some of the top coaches in the PSAL. Of course, we're here in Eagle Bronx, where we're here with the two-time back-to-back defending Bronx champions, undefeated last season, city semifinalists. It's a pleasure to be here with Coach Rose of Eagle Bronx.
How you doing?
Coach, appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for having us, of course.
Welcome to Eagle.
Yes, sir. So, of course, we have to start with you guys. Not only were you guys undefeated last year, and congratulations on the achievements of last season. Not only were you guys undefeated, I checked, you guys did not have a margin of victory lower than 10 points in the Bronx division. So just talk about the achievement of being back-to-back Bronx champion.
Great accomplishment. These guys came in from the onset, from the season began, had a goal in mind, and that goal was to go undefeated. Having some great players coming back from the previous year, and just been able to take care of business here in the Bronx. Some good schools we had to run up against, and when we got on the court with them, it was just let's take care of business right away.
So let's just talk about that dominance though, like 10 points, margin of victory, not less than 10 points. I mean, some people are going to say like you guys are just one of the best teams maybe the Bronx has ever seen at this point.
I mean, we'll take that. We'll take that. But that's news to me. I mean, we just play. We just play basketball. We don't try to run up the score. We just play basketball and push, press, and sometimes the scoreboard indicates the results.
Absolutely. So you've only been here for 3 years, and
yes,
in 2 of your 3 years, you've won championships. So just talk about like when you first came into this building, like what your goals were, and did you even expect to have so much success this early?
Coming from St. Raymond's, which is was a great experience for me. Learned a lot from Coach Lopez and the rest of the coaching staff there. I was dominant there as well. On the freshman level. Was there for 8 years, won 3 city championships, was in the championship game almost every year, maybe just minus 2 years. And being on the varsity program, just having, great teams and winning it on the varsity level too. So just coming in here knowing that I was going to be able to run my own program, I knew I was going to have success. Mm-hmm. As quickly, as dominant, maybe not, but success wasn't that far-fetched from my mind. So just coming in, I inherited 7 seniors, my freshman year, and those guys bought in to what I was trying to do, had 2-3 kids transfer in, and those seniors that was here, they were hungry to win as well. And we just went on a roll from year 1 to year 2, dominating the division. So to speak, I don't really look at it that way because, we play ball, and I tell my guys we don't it got to the point where I didn't even know we were 12-0, 13-0.
Wow, you gotta just roll.
Yeah, just playing basketball and having fun and being dominant.
And I just want to address as well, like you guys have gotten so much support from like the students, the fans. So just talk about the support they've given you in these 3 years.
It starts with our principal, Mr. Velasquez. The support has been phenomenal. Staff comes to all the games. The administration is great here. They all geared out with Eagle Academy gear. And the students is amazing. Having middle school here in the school has been great. So the players that we have walk around the school, our middle school kids really look up to them. It's a great place, man. It's a great place to be. I'm happy to be here, and the support is sometimes overwhelming.
Yeah, that's amazing. We always see the videos on social media and stuff like that. You guys dancing and all that. Yeah. So it's great to see that kind of support. So, of course, Coach, I had to start and give you your flowers, of course, but I know there's something that we have to address and a lot of people are curious about. Semifinals, you guys are up against Jefferson. Mm-hmm. You're up 8 points about halfway through the third quarter. You go into the fourth quarter up 2. What happened after that?
44-40.
Up 4. It was 4 points.
Yes.
What happened after that?
I couldn't tell you. I've been trying to figure it out since then. And after the first week or two, when I couldn't figure it out, I just left it behind me. But you got to give credit to that Jefferson coaching staff. They did a great job. When you look up at the scoreboard, the foul count was 9-2. Not saying anything about the refs, but me as a coach, if I look up and the foul count is 9-2, I'm being super duper overly aggressive. And that's what that coaching staff did. They had nothing to lose. They had almost 5 fouls to give in that fourth quarter to get into the 1-1 bonus. And they just went on a run. And it was like lights was on, lights turned off. Yeah. And I looked up, we were down double figures. So, I mean, there are some things internal that we kind of, put our fingers on with, guys not being locked in that week leading up because it was a long break before playing. We had some guys go MIA, meaning they didn't show up to practice. But again, that's water under the bridge and no excuses. Jefferson truly earned that, and they got us. They got us that year.
So a lot of the talk has been, the difference between the Bronx and Brooklyn. A lot of people see Brooklyn as the top division. I think it's hard to argue that having 4 out of the Elite 8, right. 3 out of the Final 4, and right. 2 finalists.
Exactly.
And especially, when you guys are the undefeated in the Bronx, you come up against one of the class of the Brooklyn, and you come up against one of the class of Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And in that game, I was commentating. It seemed like once Jefferson put on that press, it was kind of like that's kind of where the team broke down. So right. just talk about how you match up against those Brooklyn teams with that high tempo, and if you see a gap between the Brooklyn and Bronx.
Okay. Well, just to kind of not correct you, but they pressed the whole game. And
yeah, but I think at the fourth quarter there was
right. The fourth quarter it was
for sure.
Look, we only got 2 team fouls. Let's go. And again, that is great coaching on that part to be able to recognize that and then to hammer us, to really put more pressure. So, but yes, there is a big gap. I would be a fool to sit here and lie. Or will I say there was a big gap? So when I took over this job, I knew that you had to go through Brooklyn. You got to go through Brooklyn in order to win anything. And yes, winning the Bronx is a great accomplishment, but that wasn't our goal. My goal from day one was to win a city championship. So what I did, if you ask anyone, day one, when I took this job, we spent almost every weekend in Brooklyn. If there was a tournament in Brooklyn, we went. If there was a scrimmage game open in Brooklyn, we went. We was in Brooklyn every weekend or every other weekend throughout the year. Year 2, same thing, because I knew that you got to go through Brooklyn in order to win this. So the Smoke had an event, we was out there. Jefferson had an event, we was out there. Canarsie had an event. I mean, we were all over Brooklyn. And in order to win in the PSAL, you have to go through Brooklyn.
And it was almost like you guys were undefeated in the Bronx. It was almost like whoever set up their brackets was like, hey, if you want to get to the championship, here's Brooklyn Collegiate. Here's Jefferson. Here's South Shore Eagle on the other side. It was like, this is the rite of passage if you guys want to be champions.
Right. I mean, if that's how it was set up, let's set it up like that again, because this is year 3 and, it's going to be something different this year. So
just to piggyback off of what you were saying before, that your goal is to get to that city championship. You guys, again, you're back-to-back Bronx champions, and we'll see, the next step is to get to that city championship, to get to the Barclays.
For sure.
What's it going to take to get back there?
It's going to take what it took last year. Hard work, guys buying in, teamwork, that's that undenying spirit of winning, and go through Brooklyn.
If you want to get to the Barclays, there's only one way to get to the Barclays.
You got to get to Brooklyn. So, I mean, it's going to take guys truly understanding their roles. That's one thing that I'm good at. I'm really good at selecting a team. I don't want the best 12 players. Don't give me the best 12 players. I want 5, 6 guys that can really ball out and then you give me 4 or 5 that's willing to come and play a role. And I think we have that makeup this year. We got guys that can really play. It's a good problem to have that a lot of other coaches probably wouldn't want, but I can play 10, 11 guys with no wink of the eye, like every night. So I think we really have that team with 2 guys coming back, Braylon St. Giorgio and DeAndre Gibbs, really understanding and knowing what it's going to take to get back, and then bringing in some good guys this year that, we have the formula.
Yeah, so to speak on some of the players you lost, right up on that wall, you have Jaron Bull and Jaden Zimmerman, Jay-Z. Right. So your team was very senior heavy, led by those 2. So let's just focus on those 2 first and just talk about their impact on the team.
Both I had for 2 years. Great young men came in and got better throughout the year. A lot of people don't know Jaron Bull was playing with an injury like his first year. Wow. And then leading into his second year. And as you saw, this kid, went on a tear.
Jaron was just like the engine for your team.
The engine. Like we, there was sometimes arguments in the locker room between the coaching staff. Like, Jaron is the best player on his team. So, but when you mention the best player on the team, it gotta be what they do. And Jay-Z is just phenomenal. Yeah. And that was a young man who really worked. He didn't have, what you see wasn't the kid we had for 2 years. Wow. He grew into it. Oh man, he grew into the role. Like, put this book bag on with these ton of bricks and carry it. He didn't want to carry that book bag right away. He didn't want that. But as time went on, and as I kept giving him more responsibility and didn't let up, he just turned into a monster. Like, he turned into a monster. And, he had some Division I offers, and he was, fully qualified. But he, gambled on himself and went to a post-grad over at Cushion Academy, which is one of the top post-grad schools. And within the last 3 weeks, he had Pitt, Temple, Texas Tech.
That's incredible.
And from what I'm hearing, he's probably the best player up in that conference.
Already. Day one.
Day one. So that's great. And Jaron Bull is over at Springfield Commonwealth, and he had a Division II offer on the table, a couple. He left him on the table. Again, another kid that said, look, I'm a Division I player. So he's over at Springfield Commonwealth, and he's doing very well too. And he has some Division I schools coming to see him. So those are 2 kids that, believe me, I tried to get them both to take the offers that they had. But once they, kind of convinced me, and, I sat with the parents, I was in full support of where those guys are at right now.
And so, and just to go back to what you were saying before, you have these 2 great seniors, and not only them, your team was kind of riddled with seniors. I know you were speaking on your team before, but how do you go from replacing so many seniors who led you to so much success to kind of giving the reins to like a whole new group of kids?
Right. So people see what we did with Jaron and Jay-Z. Like, if you don't see the development of what this program have done, and, my assistant coach, Mel, Allen work, like, you're blind. If you don't see the development that we're doing, Musa Kamara,
absolutely,
he's playing Division II basketball in South Carolina, Beaufort. So they did the recruiting without speaking to anyone. So to replace them, we had kids that came from some really good programs and said, you know what, I want to get better, and I want to be coached. A lot of sentiment is coming from parents and kids. Kids are saying, I want to get better. Parents are saying, I need my kid to be coached. What better place?
That's a good marriage, right?
What better place? Right
you
here.
Definitely don't get that all the time. Sometimes, parents think that their kid is already where he needs to be, and he just needs almost your platform to shine instead of a place to grow.
Right. You're not gonna shine on this platform unless you're willing to be coached. You're not gonna shine on this platform unless you're ready to come in and work. Mel stays in the gym. He stays in the gym with our players. We got 7 a.m. workouts where it's mandatory. Sometimes it's optional, But even the optional, there's 12, 15 kids here in the gym. So we work. We put the work in, and the kids are being coached. So bringing those kids in, we had a kid from St. Pat's.
Mm-hmm.
We got a kid from St. Benedict's. We got a kid came in from Cardinal Hayes. We got a kid came in from Stepinac.
Those are top programs.
So those are top programs. And, you know, maybe they didn't get the opportunities that they felt that they deserved at those schools. So they came here. But again, it's not just coming here for sports. It's the academics as well. I'm a PE teacher here, and I see all of the kids, and I'm on them. Shoes, shirt tucked in, belt on. You know, so they're truly student athletes. And a lot of kids that did come in, they didn't have the grades when they came in. And with our tutoring program, with our mentorship, with our academic support, and with our faculty here, the kids not only shine on the court, but in the classroom as well.
No, absolutely. And that's a really good segue to talk about the transfer portal. It's the hot topic. I know you already kind of spoke about some of the new kids that came to your program, but just in general, like, what are your thoughts on the transfer portal? And again, I guess you already shined.
Is it really titled as transfer portal, or
Well,
we just take it
Sage
out?
Media is deeming it the transfer portal.
What do I think about it?
Yeah, just in general, like the culture of it.
I mean, you see a lot of movement. You know, you see a lot of movement. You see a lot of unnecessary movement, and you see a lot of movement that is necessary. So I can't really judge, you know, a parent or another coach or someone that's looking to, you know, build their program. So now, in the midst of building your program, is your focus the kid? So there's a lot of kids that wanted to come here, that wants to come here, but they can't fit the program. They can't fit the demand that we want here.
Real quick, what does it take to fit the program? If you want to just talk about that.
You got to be a student first.
Yeah.
You got to be a student athlete first. You got to be dedicated. You got to be willing to walk in the morning and say good morning to security. But you got to be willing to walk out and say, have a good evening. You got to be willing to walk by any adult, whether you know them or not, and say, hey, how you doing? How's everything? My name is, you know, Jaron Bull. My name is, you know, Day Kaba. That's what it's going to take here. You have to be an upstanding young man. Now, if that's not who you are you willing to come here and be taught that? You could be taught it. So if you're willing to come in, I meet with the parents, I meet with the kids, you know, we lay out, you know, what the standard is. If you're looking to come here and play, nobody here plays 32 minutes. I tell everybody that. Nobody. You're not going to come here and play 32 minutes. So just expect to get subbed out. So when you get subbed out, are you going to run off the court? You're going to walk off the court? You're going to be upset that you coming out the game? I already told you you're not playing 32 minutes. You might play 30. You might play 25. You might even play 31, but you're not playing the whole game. So just those little things that I try to explain to the kids that, you know, when you come here, you have to be willing to come and be a part of the program. I don't run a basketball team. I run a basketball program. And that's what it takes to, you know, to play at Eagle Academy Bronx.
And I love that. And just talk about the program as well and the Eagle Foundation.
Yes.
Just talk about being a part of the brotherhood of the Eagle Foundation. And also, you see your Eagle brothers in Brooklyn, they go and win the championship. I know there's probably a little bit of sibling rivalries. So are you happy for them, or is it that rivalry?
Of course. Me and Coach, we text back and forth all the time. Congratulations. Some of those coaches I see throughout the summer, you know, throughout AAU or, you know, some summer events. But yeah, definitely, truly proud of the whole Eagle Foundation and what they're doing. But definitely give them a call, congratulate. But, you know.
I know.
Yeah, dap it up.
You want to be.
Yeah, dap it up.
But you know, that's where I want to be next year.
Hey, you know, we coming for that spot. You know, a little, you know, laugh here, laugh there. But definitely proud of them. Definitely proud of the whole Eagle Foundation and you know, the support they give, you know, not only this school, but all of the schools.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about your coaching staff and how they've contributed to your success.
Oh, man. My right-hand man, Jamel Sanders. Mel Allenwork. He is great guy. Great guy. I've known him since he was, 12 years old, 13 years old. He was a phenomenal basketball player. A lot of people don't know that. Years later, came in, was looking for something, was not really doing what he needed to do as far as like the basketball aspects, gave up on the game, and came back to me and fell back in love with it. Training, he is the best trainer in New York City.
Wow.
The best.
Say it to the camera, he's the best.
He is the best trainer in New York City. Just the way he develops the kids, just the relationship that he builds with the kids. And he says he's not a coach, but everybody has seen within the last 2 years, he is definitely developing into a nice coach. He travels. He got a lot of kids in school. So we call him, he go on the island tour throughout the summer. Mm-hmm. He's been to Kansas, working out kids. He's been at Kansas State. He's been at Penn. He was in Hawaii. So this young man he's the goods. Like, he's really the goods. If you speak to anyone in New York City, Jamel Sanders, Allenwork is the goods. We also had Coach Leaf, who did a great job with us last year. He's moved on and one of the top assistants over at Kennedy. Awesome. We're going to miss him, but he was a great dude, friendship. And this year we brought over Corey Sanders. Coaches middle school over at New Heights, great basketball mind. Since he's been with us, he's added so much value to the program. And he's also our JV coach as well. So my coaching staff, we work very closely together. I allow those guys to coach, which is something a lot of coaches don't do. They don't allow their assistant coaches to coach. I allow these guys to coach in practice. I don't call no plays.
Really?
I don't call no plays.
How does that dynamic work on the bench?
What we running? You got the sheet? What we running? All right, we need to run this, coach. I don't call no plays. Coach Mel, call all the plays in the last 2 years. And that's a responsibility that I gave him. He didn't want it, but look, if you really want to help me, because I got to manage so many other things. Yeah. Now, if there's a play called and I need to switch it, I'm going to do that. Yeah, but out of bounds play, sideline play, what are we running, And defensively, I'm a defensive coach, but now I see Coach Corey, his mind is a defensive coach too. So, my job is going to be even easier because now I'll be able to focus on, some other things that I really need to see, like, who's tired, who needs to come out, who's not, who gave me 5 up and downs and really not, mentally locked in. Let's go with this guy. So little things like that.
Oh, got you. And before I leave, of course, I have to ask you about your youth program. You just came over there. Just talk about your youth program and what you're trying to build over there.
Milbank Flyers. Like, we've been around for many years. Milbank, home of the Jelly Fam. Isaiah Washington, Sid Wilson, Pedro Marquez, Mohamed Bamba. I had all those guys on one team, Ja Quay, since 4th grade. All those kids were with me since 4th grade. So the story is out. Everybody knows, but I love what I do at Milbank. On Sunday mornings, I run a program from kids 4 to 12 years old. We do skills and drills, every Sunday morning. Fridays, we run a training academy, open to anyone. You don't have to be from Milbank. Just coming in. We're going to be doing some skills and drills here on Saturday afternoons as well. So working with the youth is my passion. Sometimes I feel guilty because it doesn't even feel like work sometimes. But, I love what I do. Just helping young minds grow. And
I love that. We need more of that in the community. Coach, last question.
Yes.
A lot of people, of course, they give you your flowers, but, a lot of people are criticizing how that result against Jefferson went. And it's tough in my opinion, it's tough for, let's say, teams that are so dominant in the regular season and then, they fall short in the playoffs because it's almost like everyone is going to be watching you and like, okay, yeah, this is nice, but what about the city playoffs and stuff like that?
Right.
So, Coach, what's your outlook on this season and how do you respond to people maybe thinking less of Eagle Bronx?
Right. Well, if anybody knows me, there's no way they're looking less at Eagle Bronx. And we didn't fall short one game from playing in the Barclays Center against Eagle Brooklyn, who we beat here at home,
Correct.
Quite handily.
Mm-hmm.
We fell 1 quarter short.
1 quarter short. Yeah.
I'll take that. Now, is that success? No, because our goal in year 2 was to win a city championship. Mm. But we were 1 quarter away. Did we fall apart? Was there things that we could have done better? Yes, of course, sure. But at the same time, you got to give Jefferson, credit for the job that they did. But it's a new year. Year 3, I'm gonna keep emphasizing that. Year 3.
Year 3.
Not only did our kids get better, not only did my coaching staff get better, but I got better as a coach. And the goal is to win a city championship. Year 3. Nothing short of that.
Absolutely, Coach. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
Really
I appreciate
you.
All right.
And we'll be back next time. We're going to be speaking with the reigning Brooklyn champions, South Shore. Good night.